Okay, I'll promise to be gentle, but let's face it, that's a lie. No.
Okay. All right. Hello, my name is Xutech, and today I'll be talking to Eve personality Bob from Marketing. Bob is a member of Goonswarm Federation. Let's start with a series of questions about you, and of course, feel free to expand on them in detail, or continue to talk on and on and on about any particular thought or idea that enters your mind.
All right.
Okay. What first attracted you to the game Eve Online?
Honestly,
Hmm.
I have no fucking idea. I went over to a friend's house and he was playing it. Looked kind of neat. He handed me a free trial. Gave it a shot. Still playing it.
So how long ago was that roughly?
It was 2004.
2004. Okay, so you were kind of talked into it by that, social pressure. You kind of, hey, log on, it's really fun and not too expensive, and there's all this interesting stuff happening.
No, not really. We played EverQuest for a long time together, and then that
Right.
game sort of died. So we tried to look for something else, and we hadn't found anything useful.
Mm.
Played this.
Okay, so when you first started playing, what did you think the game was about?
Spaceships.
No,
That's
I
what
mean,
the
like,
game's about.
did you think it was all about building empires, or did you think it was just about amassing the wealth, or getting more skill points, that kind of thing?
Honestly, it took a few months before I realized that 00 even existed. I was in
Mm.
Empire, and I nearly quit the game a couple of times because I really fucking hated Empire. Eventually,
Right.
I started following the politics of the whole wars and stuff, and I actually was kind of thrust into it because of my name.
Okay. Oh, I see. Hmm.
I was griefed in Empire like crazy because I have Bob in my name, and that's apparently all puppies needed to, you know, suicide gank me or whatever. I was apparently a Bob alt.
Right. So you were attracting a lot of shit, and you kind of started to find out why that was happening, and then what happened then?
Well, I tried to petition for a name change, but CCP doesn't do that. So
Hmm.
I just eventually
They do
joined.
have a very responsive customer service section.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Hmm.
Um, Eventually just joined whatever entity was fighting Bob, which I think at that time was ASCN. So joined
Hmm.
them. They obviously didn't fare so well.
Right.
I moved on.
So when you joined, like, why did you do that instead of just stopping playing?
It was more entertaining. Giving up because players are assholes is kind of against my motto.
Right.
Not motto, my MO rather.
So back then, was it difficult to join that group?
Um, it wasn't that difficult actually. Out of the groups that were fighting Bob, they were the only one that sorry, no, that was after ACN. No, really surprisingly it wasn't. A couple interviews, I had to fly my shit out, and that's the hardest thing, was trying to get my stuff out safely.
So the paranoia hadn't really set in at that time.
No, but actually I was killed a couple times in fleets because they assumed I was a spy.
Nice, because of the name.
Yes.
Yeah, so as a hardened, dedicated spy, you would have generated an alt with that name and then attempted to inveigle yourself into an enemy group.
Yes, exactly. That's the best thing spy can do.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about where you are at the moment. Tell me about the group you're a part of now.
We're a bunch of assholes.
Right.
That's pretty
And
much it. We're a bunch of we're usually don't okay about ASA. We're from somethingawful.com. We're
mhm.
all forum users. We post a lot. We give a shit about posting a lot. We whine about posting a lot. We never stop posting.
So you've been a member for a long time?
Decently, yeah. I actually originally joined Goonswarm because they were fighting Bob after ASCN fell. It was either I
Okay.
couldn't join AAA because I didn't speak Russian. I couldn't join TCF because I didn't speak French. Really, all I could do was join Goonswarm.
Mm.
Originally joined
And
through a elite PvP corp, or so they called themselves, called Hydra. That is not the
Hydra.
Alliance. And
Right.
they lived in Delve, and they did fuck all. So eventually I went
Mm.
over, and my first op with Goons, we killed Shrike.
Right. So that you would have been a member during the kind of the glory days, the high water mark of Goonswarm.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yes.
So there's been several new iterations of Goonswarm since then. Some accidental, some kind of forced. How do you feel the kind of essence of the group is now compared to how it was then? Do you think it still has that kind of griefing, kind of devil may care attitude that it did then, or has it changed somewhat?
It still pretty much has the attitude. We obviously have blues now, so we can't go to full extent. We have some people we hate and just want to kill for a long time, and then eventually we usually get to kill them. Smash was a good example. That was a lot of fun. But people like Stella Polaris and stuff, we want to kill them, but we can't yet.
So, at what point did you feel you were an actual member of Goonswarm? Was there like an event that you took a part in that you kind of went, yeah, I'm finally in?
Actually, do you know who Sesfin was?
Yes.
Okay. When we kill, I've been speaking to Sesfin about becoming sponsored in a Goonswarm because I wasn't in the actual court proper. When we killed Shrike, he sponsored me in, and that was sort of actually a Goon moment.
Right. So you felt you'd been kind of given the nod.
Yeah.
Have you, as a side note, have you been to the fan fests?
No, I have not.
Or any kind of other event?
No, I have not. I honestly have a hard time paying that much money to fly to Iceland to meet with a bunch of nerds.
Okay. Let's move on to kind of the day-to-day. You are subscribed at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you log on?
Whenever there's a broadcast, I don't usually log on for anything other than ops or to change skills.
And what about in the long term? Do you feel that you have a kind of, at the moment, there's something that's capturing your interest, that's keeping you connected to the game?
Same thing I've been doing for 6 years now, fighting Bob. It's entertaining. They may be a different iteration, and they're a lot more terrible, but it's the same thing.
Do you think that that's still that kind of, what'd you put it, that hatred? Do you think that's echoed on the other side? Do you think they're still up to that kind of level of energy?
I think parts of them are, but for the most part, they weren't really around for all of that. Like, most people in IT don't know who Digital Communist was or don't know who DB Preacher was. So they weren't really there.
Can you just outline for the listeners who those people are?
Digital Communist was an amazing shit poster that would post huge walls of text about why Bob was pretty much better than everyone else. He also did a lot of theory crafting. He did a lot of planning for Bob, and was a lot of the reason they were actually so successful. DB Preacher, on the other hand, was mainly just a forum warrior. Like, sure, he went to ops, but I'm not sure really how active he was inside the alliance itself, as far as leadership positions. He posted a lot and whined a lot and bitched at people a lot, but that's really all he did. And he also signed his posts, which has been made fun of a lot, but that's pretty much his claim to fame, is his posting.
Right.
At least for Goons.
Okay. Let's move on to the kind of the community that's behind you. Do you think that as a large group, obviously you are, and you have an effect on the game itself, do you think that a strong out of game backbone, for example your forums, are vital to the success of a large group?
Yeah, definitely. We pretty much couldn't operate unless we had Jabber at the very least. Although there was one time where we did everything off of the EVE Online forums for a day or so, and that was pretty fantastic. But some sort of out-of-game forums was always required for us to be organized in any level.
Now, I know that Something Awful members have a wide range of interests, and they often play other games as well. And on the other hand, there are other groups who solely focus on EVE Online and are often even, I suppose, derogatory about other games. Do you think it's better personally that your group has a wide range of interests apart from EVE, or do you think it would be better for you to focus on EVE?
I think it's healthy of interest. I mean, we're a community. We're not just a group of people that play the game together. We do all sorts of other things together. I have friends, goons, that we hang out in real life.
Right.
And I mean, we have interests. They most of them, actually all of them, have moved on to other games, but we're still friends. And I have people that I met from SA that don't play Eve, and wouldn't have that if they were just a bunch of Eve players. Focusing on one game is great, but you burn yourself out.
Right. Okay, let's have a look at metagaming. Now, do you take the idea of metagaming seriously as personally? Do you think it's an important part of the game?
Yeah, I think it is actually. It creates a lot of the economic and political shifts in the game. Without that, you wouldn't have a lot of the fantastic things that CCP's been broadcasting to out to other people who don't play the game, to bring other people in. It's the 0-0 conflicts, the metagaming it's necessary.
I suppose even the tournaments and things like that are quite exciting.
Yeah.
And even they're just movies. If you look at them as just a science fiction fan, they're very well made.
There's a lot of people the movies. I mean, I wish Eve played like the movies, but there's people I know.
I was just about to bring that up, like that it creates an unreal expectation of what the game is, and then you're in, and it's a lot harder than that.
I don't know if hard's the word I'd use, but yeah, it definitely doesn't play like the movies.
Now, actually, just to go on from that, now, as I understand it, I'm not sure if you still do, but Goonswarm and Goonswarm Federation always seem to have prided themselves on creating a very supportive atmosphere for new players within its own group. Do you think that's... Yeah?
Do I think it's still there? Yeah, it's still there. It kind of went away for a while, but we just had a fairly recent separation.
You did have a very difficulty with your economy for a little while, which is understandable.
It wasn't the economy that gave us an issue. It was actually a lot of the more bitter players who don't play Eve anymore but still post on our forums. Mm-hmm. They kind of got out of hand for a while, but once that was back under wraps, we created a new user group just for newbies. We stopped using the squads as much. Newbies weren't forced into them. That started being a whole lot more helpful, and we started retaining a lot more newbies than we used to.
Now, do you think that that's not just something that your group has done, but rather that it's a reaction to the learning curve of the game? That you're, in effect, trying to create the game that you want to play and that you want to introduce to your friends?
By helping them?
By helping them. As I understand, you're generous.
We try to curb the learning. We try to make the learning curve easier, and we let them choose whatever the fuck they want to do. Like, initially we say, okay, you want PvP? Come tackle something. Get in a rifter, go tackle something. You want to go Jew all day? You can go get in a rifter, go salvage something. Follow someone around that's ratting or running anomalies and salvage stuff. Most people don't care. Whatever person wants to do, we just try to empower them to do that. You're not required to do anything in Goonswarm. You can sit every day if you want on the other side of the Eve, camp a gate all day. No one will ever yell at you for that.
That's pretty much a diametrically opposite contract to any other society in Eve, isn't it? Where all your other groups will say, get your shit in order, you will be expected to do this, that, and something else, and you have no free time to do whatever it is that you actually enjoy doing.
Yeah, no, we've had user groups that were dedicated to that, but generally but those are always voluntary.
Exactly.
But in general, goons are not required to do anything. Goonswarm exists to be a place for goons to play Eve, not whatever goons want that to be. If that's empire building. If that's not, then we'll find something else to do.
Okay, let's go back to metagaming again. Now, when you look at the position of game developers, do you think that they have found metagaming to be positive for the development of their game, or do you think they're kind of going, gee, if we could push a button and remove this, we would? Because, let's not look at the kind of the pleasant side of it, but also the negatives, people looking at forums and out of game kind of shenanigans and things like that. Do you think that MMO producers are looking at this as a good thing?
I think it's probably cultural based on the MMO producers. I know that the CCP producers love it. They've said they've loved it. Pretty much every fan fest they've been at questioned about it and said, hey, we think this is fantastic. We're not going to stop this. But I think a lot of MMOs try to make their MMOs as user-friendly as possible, and getting all your shit scammed does not go into the list of user-friendly.
Now,